r/askreddit, what's the wildest thing you've ever heard teachers say in class? I guess it's a thing? Link. Not heard, but my freshman year high school teacher once pulled a bottle of Jack out of his desk and took a shot during class. He was dying, so towards the end I think he just stopped caring. Damn, that's sad. As long as it was just one, that's fair enough, I reckon. Psych teacher in high school told us that 1 in 10 of the people we're friends with in high school would be dead within 5 years of graduating. At the time I thought it was hyperbole, but it turns out he was being conservative. 3 of the people in my high school friend group were dead by the time I was 22. 1 was the obligatory DUI crash right after graduation, 1 was killed during Desert Storm, and 1 overdosed on heroin. Ha! Joke's on him. I didn't have any friends. Had the head of the department in college claim in class that anyone who actually needs accommodations for mental health issues should not be in college to begin with. This was while we were discussing the death of a salesman, and the discussion had veered over to unhealthy pressure and social standards for success. Gotta be a law professor or something. Wow, fuck that dude. Seems like the message went in the door and out the window. Female health teacher told us men couldn't be raped. We then had to go through magazines that she provided to show examples of companies trying to use sex to sell products. First magazine I opened had an article about a lady that caught some guy in Russia while he was breaking into a building. She tied him up and force-fed him Viagra, then raped him for over a week before letting him go. 7th grade. Substitute teacher. Black man. Told the whole class the whole black dude / big dick thing. It's a myth. We're just like everyone else. Whole class just sat there, slack-jawed, till the black student to my right said he lying. That's a wild task to set kids, ha ha ha. I never did anything like that in school. 5th grade teacher, Mount Whitney in California is the tallest mountain in the world. 5th grade me blurts out, no it isn't, Mount Everest is. Whitney is not even the tallest mountain in the USA, which is Mount McKinley in Alaska. I got in trouble for contradicting the teacher. My dad was forced to write Vikings are from Russia not Norway 100 times when he contradicted the history teacher he had. I had a literature teacher who told the class that he didn't believe in dinosaurs, because the universe is only a couple thousand years old. The bones were put there by Satan. Thank fuck he wasn't a science or history teacher. Man, just on principle of loving dinosaurs I hate the MFER. Didn't hear this personally, but read in a book about a guy who recalled his teacher skipping chapters in a textbook and saying you will not need to know this when you are down in the mines. K, I'm a teacher, and I'm still laughing. Was that an orc teacher down in Mortar? My English teacher told us that he genuinely believes that the Rothschilds own a hotel for aliens in the Bermuda Triangle. You've never been? You've gotta try their spa. He didn't need to make it that obvious, ha ha ha. Probably true, honestly. They are time travelers for sure. It's not beyond them. High school science teacher told my class that a kilometer was longer than a mile. Refused to budge when refuted and kicked out several students for doing so. Classic teacher defense mechanism. Get to cover. Charlie is in the wire. Dude had a flashback and a complete breakdown. Wow, care to elaborate on that story? That's just sad. That guy definitely should have been doing better things than being a teacher, unless he truly did enjoy it. Religious studies teacher. Jesus didn't hate moneylenders, he was just angry that as King of Kings, he didn't get his cut. Shadow priest vibes. Supply side Jesus. My 7th grade science class was watching a documentary about desert wildlife. A large female dung beetle was being chased by 3 or 4 smaller males. Many of the kids were gasping and giggling. The teacher's response to the kids, I think it's kinda kinky. The room went silent. Would have been great if he shouted, nope, it's just you. Fun LOL. My 7th grade teacher blocked the projector when the nature documentary we watched showed squirrels mating. Teacher walked into the class adjusting his belt as he said, kids, I've got something to how you. For a second we all low-key thought he was getting it out. I had a teacher walk into class one day and say to a group of girls, is that a banana in my pocket, or am I just pleased to see you? Then he pulled out a banana. We all took it as the joke it was intended to be, but he might not have gotten away with that if he said it nowadays. Come visit me at my apartment pool this summer. Here's my number. My red-hot German teacher at the reception after my graduation ceremony. Idiot fool that I was, I didn't go. That's a crazy fumble. Who knows, he could have been a serial killer. Wouldn't that be so wild? It would be awesome in regards to the Lockerbie terrorist plane bombing as passengers were falling 30k feet to the ground. What did you all react like? That only gay people listen to Coldplay. 4th grade teacher leaned down to the girl a couple seat over during the slavery section in our history book and said to her, in this time they would have called you a N. I told my parents about this and nobody believed me. In fact, no one listens to Coldplay. A teacher in elementary school claimed during history class that the Colosseum was in Greece. As an Italian kid I was very confused, this was in Mexico. Now girls, don't you let them boys touch your breasts. It'll give you cancer. High school, upper class English teacher considered herself to be a paragon of liberal values. Told the girls in class that day you should be striving to live your lives free from all male influence and never, under any circumstances, should you be in a relationship with one. She then told the boys you are all just little deviants who will grow into bigger deviants. She then wondered aloud why most students dropped her class by the end of the week. A teacher in freshman year of high school once called a kid a sexy beast. I don't remember the context of the comment, but it was really fucking weird considering she was like 50 and he was 14. Don't think context can save that one. Holy fuck, I had an English teacher refer to a classmate in the same way. It was around the time the movie Sexy Beast was out, so may have been a reference. No, I never saw it. Similar. Had a teacher exclaim if I was 20 years younger. You won't have a calculator with you at all times. Almost right, we have many computers in our pockets instead. Was he straight up racist or was this just a really poor choice of comment? My 9th grade biology teacher to this girl named Fallon, yelling how come you're such a bitch. Did Fallon explain why she is such a bitch? What was her reason? I said whoever threw that, yo mom's a hoe. I can tell what reading group you will be in by looking at you. Mrs. Jenkins, my 3rd grade teacher. Please don't tell me this was race related. In a keyboarding/typing class, we had a teacher who really liked to remind the one Native American kid that, everyone thinks you were peaceful people, but your tribes were always at war with each other, even before whites settled America. He really only cared about weed and BMCing. I think every other student was way more offended than he was. Hey, dumbass, you were the one who asked me about this, so why don't you stop talking to your friend and pay attention? It was me. I was the teacher. I got in trouble for calling the kid a dumbass. I had a math teacher tell us that he doesn't believe in global warming, and that none of should too. He then went on to say that if you ask the science teachers on campus, they will also agree it doesn't exist. The whole rant lasted longer than him actually teaching us. In physics class, one of the lads was sat at the end of the row singing away to himself. The teacher turned around and, no word of a lie, said, I don't mind you singing, but it's the fact that you're pish. Edit, spelling. Gotta be in Scotland? My very well respected biology teacher in college spent almost an entire lecture telling us that Jamie Lee Curtis was a hermaphrodite. It seemed oddly personal to him. In middle school our teacher had a guest speaker/friend I think come in to talk. It was a health class. She told us a story about how she had a couple's friend and she liked to watch them get it on and she would get the munchies for chips while watching. It ended up being a made-up story. It was a long time ago so I don't remember all the details or why she made it up, but I do remember the class being silent and me saying out loud, that's jacked up. I had a biopsych professor, during a lecture on pain, tell us that there's tribes in Africa where the men suffer the pain of childbirth. As in, the women give birth, then go right back to working the next day while the men lay about in debilitating pain. I still have no idea what to think about this. To be fair, sympathetic labor pain is a real thing. Link. Not sure how common it is, especially in extreme levels like that. But I guess culture components would be involved. A jack-of-all-trade teacher, not a substitute, telling a student to remove his shirt or he would cut the shirt off his back with a Stanley knife. The shirt said, I trust Wikipedia more than your crappy outdated textbooks. Hearing the teacher's first name was always a wild time. Day after Easter. Professor goes, Jesus wasn't the only thing that rose from the dead yesterday. Maybe he just discovered the name Jamie can be a boy or a girl, so can Lee, and so can Curtis. LOL. This was an old rumor that went around for a long time.